Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to my live stream. This is going to be episode or part number 8 of my playthrough of No One But You, a visual novel that's really picked up in dramatic fashion the last couple of episodes. In part 6, we had taken a chance with that girl right there you see on the left that just faded, Shinatsu. And we're a 17-year-old kid in Japan, back in a small town, going back to school, and we had met a girl on the bridge that said she knew us from when I was really young, and we had lived in that town when we were younger, but I didn't really remember a whole lot. And she obviously knew me because she told me some things that, matched up, and I really started going to the bridge like all the time after school and stuff like that, and talking to her and developing a relationship with her, and my character kind of fell in love with her, he thought. And he took a chance and tried to hold her hand, and she freaked out, and didn't see him for the rest of the summer, and never was at the bridge anymore. The girl right there, Shinatsu, and kind of broke my heart. Hideaki, the character I play in the game, broke my heart and tore him up, and then he found her the first day of school in her reading club, a literature club, where she hung out, and he tried to find out what happened and if they can still be friends, and she ended up kind of freaking out again and taking off and leaving. And then I found out through some other people, through Megumi, my friend there, and through another older lady that had moved into their old house 10 years ago, that they had moved away 10 years ago. And so pretty weird, and I started freaking out, and at the very last of part 7, I was kind of at the bridge just screaming, frustration at not understanding what the heck's going on. So it'll be interesting to see what happens and kind of how all this, if it's going to make sense somehow and tie everything together. So I don't know if this is going to be the last part, but I expect the playthrough to end sometime pretty soon. I know it's supposed to be about a 10-hour playthrough, and I think I'm already at about 8 hours maybe. So maybe a little bit less, so we might have 2 more episodes left. It'll be interesting to see. So we're going to go ahead and get started back with No One But You. This is going to be part 8. Thanks for being here with me, guys, and guys and gals, whoever it is. Hopefully you guys enjoy this as much as I'm enjoying it, and I'll be back right after this with part 8. Alright, welcome back everybody to my playthrough of No One But You, Part 8. Let's go ahead and get this started. We are going to load data, and that is from a couple of days ago here, where it really started getting good. And right now, the only thing on my mind is Shinatsu. And this should actually read August 26th. I don't know why it says June. But, so anyway, I just screamed out in, total frustration as loud as I could over the bridge. I didn't care who was screaming. I was like, how does this make sense or whatever. I mean, I was really frustrated. And the second I finally arrived home, Mom instantly noticed that something was wrong. Good old Mom. Even if I hadn't slammed the door shut or arrived home so late, her keen senses would have picked up the bad vibes. So as I walked through the hall, the first sight to greet me was my mother's worried face. Aw. Hey, Hacky, honey, what's wrong? Nothing. Are you sure? I'm sure. I just want to be alone for a little while. I brushed past my mother and made my way to the stairs. The way I'm feeling right now, I don't have the patience to put up with my mother's silly antics. And remember, if you don't see my face here, guys, I'm thinking this to myself, even though it looks like I might be saying it out loud. As I set my foot on the first step of the staircase, my mother ignored my warning and called out after me. But Heidi, you have a face that says, I just won the lottery, but then a thieving cat stole and ate my winning ticket. Well, she's kind of onto me there, isn't she? What? I pondered my mother's words for a second, wondering where on earth she had heard such a ridiculous saying. No, that's too far-fetched to be an actual saying. In which case... Did that ever happen to you, Mom? Wait, really?
The world is a cruel place, honey. The Lord gives with one hand, then takes away with the other.
You're not religious.
That's right, and that story never happened either.
It didn't?
No.
My mother winked as she spoke.
But at least it stopped you in your tracks, mister. So, are you going to have a chat with me or not?
Is not actually an option?
Oh, Heidi, you say the silliest things.
I figured as much.
Listen, you've been acting distant for a while now, and your loving mother wants to know the reason why.
Yeah, alright. I've been avoiding telling my mother anything about Shinatsu, not wanting to worry her, but it seems to be having the opposite effect. I know she only wants the best for me, so it must hurt her to see her only son so down. Mom's always been a rather light-hearted and cheerful person, but I know she really cares for me. In fact, I think it's because she cares about me that she's always so unrelentingly chipper. She's a lot more astute and far more responsible than she looks.
Good, well then, shall we talk about this in the kitchen?
Why the kitchen? Why not the living room?
I don't know, I just like the kitchen more, it feels more homey.
Because we sit and eat meals as a family?
Maybe, or maybe it's just because that's where all the food is.
Huh. I take back everything I just said about my mother being a responsible parent. That's cute. Mom stared at me from across the kitchen table, her hands clasped together on the wooden surface.
All right, young man, what have you been up to?
My mother glared at me, as though grilling a criminal for information. You know, when you look at me like that, it makes me feel like I'm being interrogated by the police.
Oh, I was being too much of a bad cop?
Just a little.
I thought since this is a serious situation, I should try to sound serious to match, but maybe I went a little overboard.
My mother cleared her throat, then resumed her line of questioning.
So, Heidi, what's the matter? Is it a cute girl?
Although my mother sounded like she was joking, she hit the nail right on the head. Am I really that transparent? Yes, that's right.
I figured as much. Well, I'm not surprised. It often is with boys your age. I remember when I was a young lad.
You were never a young lad.
You've got me there. Anyway, what happened? Did you and Megumi break up?
Why? Just why? Mom, I thought you said you were going to be serious.
I am being serious. Your mother will be really troubled if her favorite pairing doesn't work out.
Oh, she kind of favors Megumi, huh? She likes Megumi, though she hasn't met Shinatsu. We gotta be fair, right? Never mind. I was wrong to confide in you. I got up from my seat and headed for my room.
Wait. I'm sorry. Mommy won't tease you anymore.
All right. I sat back down.
So then, tell me, honey.
The playful smile on my mother's face disappeared, replaced by a serious expression completely unnatural for her.
Is it because a cute girl rejected you? Is that why you've been so down?
Damn, bingo, Mom. She's hitting the nail on the head twice in a row, huh? Good job, Mom. 5 points. I suppose so, in a manner of speaking. She just wasn't very clear about it.
Oh no. Being rejected like that really is the worst. You don't know how they really feel, so you think you're still in love with a chance, but when you try to get them to clarify, they give you vague replies or ignore you.
Exactly, that's exactly what's been happening. I haven't even managed to speak to her for a whole week now.
Oh, honey, I'm so sorry. I know how it feels being strung along like that. It's not good for the self-esteem.
Well, I don't know if she's really stringing me along. It might be more complicated than that.
I'm sure she has her reasons. Perhaps she's too timid to reject you outright, or maybe she herself doesn't understand her own feelings. Either way, you have your own worth as a person. You deserve to be treated fairly. For any relationship to work, both parties must respect one another. If this girl isn't being clear with her feelings and she's hurting you, then I don't know if she respects you, Heidi. No matter how pretty she is, you'll be better off without her. Trust me, it isn't worth the hassle.
I know what you're saying, Mom, but I think there's a bit more to it than that. It's complicated.
Oh, how is it complicated? Is she shy? She could at least write you a note in your shoe locker. Or has that gone out of fashion now?
That kind of thing only happens in TV dramas. When real people are too shy to admit they like somebody, they just dither around without acting on their feelings until it's too late. I think Heidi has a good point there with that.
Maybe you're right. Letters in shoe lockers appeared a lot in dramas when I was a little girl, but nobody in my school ever got asked out like that. To tell the truth, I was disappointed. I wanted to write a load of fake love letters and put them in random lockers just to see what would happen.
That sure sounds like something my mom would do. How positively evil. It's nice to know she was still this impulsive back when she was my age. I don't think Shinatsu could leave a letter in my shoe locker even if she wanted to. After all, I'm no longer sure she even goes to my school.
Ah.
My mother paused, staring at me while wearing a look of shock.
Did you just say Shinatsu, Heidi?
That's right, Shinatsu Masaki. I met her a few months ago, when we first moved to Okatama.
Shinatsu Masaki.
Yeah, I thought I was getting along with her, but then she vanished all of a sudden, almost like she never existed at all. I couldn't find her at school, or in town. And when I tried to find out where she lived, I met an old woman who said Shinatsu and her family moved away from Okatama like 10 years ago. I paused for breath, only then realizing how quickly I had spoken. I realize I must sound crazy, but how else can I tell this story? I'm just relaying what actually happened. Or at least what I think happened. Honestly, my story sounds ridiculous, even to me. It's like the plot of some stupid horror movie. Not even my mother, my light-hearted and fun-loving mother, could be expected to believe in this. Now that I've said it out loud, I'm not sure I even believe it myself. As I returned to reality, I noticed that my mother was still silently staring at me. She thinks I'm crazy. Mom? Mom, are you alright? I called out to my mother, but she didn't reply. She simply sat there, staring over my shoulder, her eyes vacant. Wow. Have I upset her? Was my story really that troubling? I guess any mother would be sad at the prospect that her only son is slowly losing his mind. I'm sorry, Mom. This is why I didn't want to tell you about it. It just sounds so bizarre. I know, but it really did happen. Or at least I think it did. I don't know.
Hideaki, you don't remember?
My mother finally spoke up, her voice heavy with worry. Remember what?
I know. Of course you wouldn't. The doctors did say that, and I didn't want to trouble you. I thought it would be better if you didn't know, but maybe I was wrong.
Doctors? Are you talking about that accident? The one that occurred when I was a child? The reason why I remember so little from my childhood? The reason why we initially moved away from Okatama?
Yes,
My mother finally lifted her head, meeting my eyes with hers. Her expression was deadly serious, and horribly, indescribably, soul-crushingly sad.
I'm sorry, Heidi, but there's something I've been hiding from you for a while now. Almost 10 years, in fact.
My mother's words carried a lot of weight, but I could already guess what she was talking about. Although I know that something happened to me 10 years ago, I don't remember the incident itself. My mother always told me it was for the best, and that I left the past behind, and that I shouldn't ask too many questions. That must be it, right? But what could possibly... What are you talking about?
Heidi, you say you met Shinatsu Misaki, but you couldn't have. There's just no way. That accident 10 years ago, when you almost drowned, somebody went into the river to save you.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Holy hell. I guess I'm getting into this because this just kind of rose the hairs on my arms a little bit. Wow. No way. Alright, let's continue.
It was that girl with dark hair, the one you always used to play with, Heidi. I don't know what happened exactly, but she went missing, and her body, Hideaki, her body was found washed up on the riverside.
Oh, wow. Oh, damn. What in the hell? Oh my god, Heidi's really gonna go nuts now. Her body was found washed up on the riverside. I've been talking to her for this whole 3 months or whatever, and heartbroken over her. And we used to walk to school together, and wow, this is nuts.
She must have hurt herself trying to search for you. And she was the Misaki's daughter, their only daughter. She was such a cute little thing, even if she was a bit on the quiet side. Her name was Shinatsu.
Wow. Wow. My mother's got to think I'm losing it too. Shinatsu Misaki. Now I know why she seemed so familiar. I really had heard that name before. Dimly, a memory arose from within my mind, buried deep within the marshy pits of my subconscious. There was a Shinatsu before. I used to know a Shinatsu. We were best friends, weren't we? All until that fateful day. Damn. Hideaki.
Dad, why do we always have to go to Sakuragaoka?
What's wrong with Sakuragaoka? It's nice. Don't you love to smell the refreshing air of the countryside? I pouted at my father, puffing my cheeks out like a squirrel's.
I don't think the air is refreshing. It's only 30 miles away from Shinseki.
Indeed, the physical distance may not be far, but there may as well be an entire galaxy between Sakuragaoka
and Shinsengeki. For one thing, the hills of Sakuragaka are magnificent beyond compare. Shinseki has nothing of the sort. Yeah, and Okatama has an arcade and an ice cream parlor. Let's just stay right here. Now, Heidi. My mother ruffled my hair, sporting a winning smile on her face. You don't need arcades or ice cream to have fun. We can make our own fun out here in the countryside. That's what you said last year, and the year before that, and the year before that. But all we did was go on walks, Mom. I hate walking, it's boring. Aw, don't be like that, Mr. Grumpy. You should learn to appreciate the world around you a bit more. I don't want to appreciate it, it stinks. Quite literally, Sakuragaka is a pretty secluded place, all the way up in the mountains, and there are sheep and cows everywhere. Whenever we go for walks around here, the air smells of manure. Ugh, just thinking about it makes me feel sick. Can't we just stay here in Okatama instead? Most of my school friends are here, and I don't know anybody in Sakuragaka. We've been going to our summer house there for the last 4 years, and each and every trip has been equally boring. If we have to go on holiday, why can't we go abroad? Rai's family has taken her to Paris for the summer. Rai's family might be taking her to Paris, but Rai's family is a lot richer than ours. That's right. Isn't her mother that famous actress, Shiori or something, or the other? A classy family like that would have to go abroad, haha. I glared at Dad, my hands clenched into fists. Are you saying we're not classy? I'm saying that I'd rather not eat snails for a whole week, Heidi. I'd much rather stay in good old Japan. Dad patted me on the shoulder, smiling happily. Now then, do you want to help us load the car, Heidi? I was in no mood to cooperate with my father. I hate going to Sakuragaka, and I hate the mountains, and I hate walking, and I really, really, really hate sheep. Why don't Mom and Dad ever listen to me? I keep telling them I don't want to go, but they just ignore me. It's not fair. This is basically child cruelty. Well, if they won't listen to me, then I won't listen to them. Hey Heidi, where are you going? Heidi? Mom and Dad called out after me, but I didn't listen. Instead, I continued to run, pumping my arms and legs as hard as I could. Alright, suit yourself. Make sure to come back when you get hungry. Dinner will be waiting for you on the table. Oh, what a loving dad. Stupid Mom and Dad, why do they never listen to me? I pouted, kicking at a loose rock on the ground with the tip of my shoe. I originally intended to hide out until nightfall, when it would be too late to drive to Sakuragaka, but I soon realized that wouldn't work. If I do that, my parents will just put me in the car while I'm asleep. Honestly, why don't they even consider staying here for the summer break, just this once? Arg, they're so annoying. And I shouted out as I kicked another rock with the tip of my shoe. I kicked it a little harder than I had intended, and the rock flew into the air, soon landing in the nearby river with a splash. I turned my head, watching the falling rock, when suddenly... Hey, what are you doing? The river wasn't empty, as it usually would be. Instead, there was somebody swimming in there. I can't see very well from this distance, but it looks like a little girl. Her hair is black, floating on the surface of the water like spilled tar, and she seems to be struggling to keep up with the tide. Did she fall in? Is she drowning? Maybe she's in danger. Mom told me to never swim in this river. She said the current was too fast and I'd get swept away. To further drive Mom's point home, I noticed a wooden sign driven into the riverbank which clearly read, "Swimming is prohibited." I don't entirely know what prohibited means, but I'm smart enough to realize that girl shouldn't be in the river. Hey, are you all right? Hey! I ran over to the girl, extending my arm towards her as far as I could. I reached out so far, I was worried that I'd overbalance and fall into the water myself. I grabbed a nearby tree trunk for extra support, then continued to reach out. Hey, can you hear me? I promise you that you'll be okay. Just grab my hand. Come on, you can make it. The girl lifted her head, her damp black hair falling around her shoulders, and she blinked at me. It was only then that I realized she was wearing a swimming costume. Oh wow, little girl's wearing a swimming outfit. Does that mean she didn't fall in after all? She was swimming in the river, just for fun? Having heard my frantic yelling, she began to paddle back to the riverbank. Though the current seemed strong, she pushed right through it, unhindered, with such grace that she may as well have been walking on dry ground. I watched her, dumbfounded, as a hot blush slowly spread across my face. I guess you could swim after all. The girl stepped out of the river, and I finally got a good look at her. There she is as a little girl. There's Shinatsu. Wow, look at that. She's absolutely adorable. I know it's just a picture, guys, but if you guys have been following along, is that not just absolutely adorable? Wow, she looks cute as crap for a drawing. Her hair was very long, almost down to her waist, and the weight of it appeared to be dragging her head down. Her arms and legs were so thin that I wondered how such a fragile body was able to stand the rushing current of that river. She must be a lot stronger than she looks. The girl shook her head for a few moments, trying to dry her hair under the sunlight before she approached me. It was only once she was a few paces away from me that I realized that she was giggling. Hello there, were you worried about me? It's okay, you don't need to trouble yourself over me. I'm one of the strongest swimmers in my class. But you, even if you're good at swimming, you shouldn't do that in the river. It's dangerous. It's fine. I swim here all the time and nothing bad has ever happened to me. All the time? We've never met before, but going by her words, this girl must live around here. I live nearby and I've never seen you here before. Maybe we just kept missing each other. I'm always swimming here alone, so I'm probably hard to spot. The girl smiled as she brushed a few strands of her damp black hair out of her eyes. Though I guess I'm not alone here anymore, am I? Say, what's your name? My name is Hideaki. Hideaki-kun, is it? It's nice to meet you. My name is Shinatsu Masaki. I hope we can get along, Hideaki-kun.
That's cute. That is too cute. Wow. After that day, I started spending a lot of time with Shinatsu. We attended different schools, so we didn't get to see one another during the day, but that just made our time together all the more special. With school over for the day, the two of us would meet up near the bridge upon which we met and talk about nonsense until the sun began to set. On weekends, we'd meet up to play, trying new things together as we found activities we both enjoyed. Every day was fun. Even our dreaded family vacations, which I used to spend alone, were tolerable with her presence. Without even realizing it, the two of us became the best of friends. But on one fateful day, that all changed.
Mom, can I see my cake now? Don't be hasty, dear. We can't start eating until your father gets back from work. But it's getting dark and I want to go play with Nachun.
Mom smiled at me, shaking her head.
And go out and play. I won't stop you. Though I'm sure Nakan would rather stay here and listen to me spill all of your embarrassing secrets.
There she is, Nakan, huh? There's Shinatsu. Look at her. That's so cute.
Oh, what kind of things don't you want me to know, Heidi?
Shinatsu's eyes sparkled playfully as she overheard my mother and I speaking. Even though Shinatsu is normally quiet, she never passes up a chance to make fun of me. She might be like Mom, at least in that regard.
Is there something you're trying to hide from me? Is there? Look at her eyes. Why, yes, of course. Heidi was telling me only the other day that he thinks you're really Mom!
That is so freaking cute, man. Wow. I pushed and prodded at my mother's sides, which made her sputter helplessly with laughter. Mom is pretty ticklish, so even if I can't put my hand over her mouth, I can at least shut her up this way. Tickling her mom to shut her up. Or tickling his mom to shut her up.
Stop it, Heidi. That's so cruel. Would you dare do such a cruel thing to your only mother? I will if it'll keep you from teasing me, Mom. Okay, I'm sorry. I give, you win.
I stepped away from her, my arms folded, proud of my achievement. I'm not going to let Mom spoil my birthday, even though she seems to be trying her best to do so. Though she did bake me a birthday cake, so I suppose I can't be too angry with her. I hadn't seen the cake yet, as Mom kept it stored in the kitchen, refusing to let me see it. Now, isn't that the truth? I mean, kids get so mad and so embarrassed if you say anything, even the slightest bit embarrassing or cute or anything, to one of their friends or whatever, especially a friend like that that's like their bestest friend in the whole world. You better not dare embarrass your kid in front of their friends. That is so fitting. Mom worked hard on the cake, likely because this was the first birthday I'd be spending with one of my friends. Unfortunately, if you see your cake before it's time to eat, it'll give you bad luck. That's what she had said, but I think she's mixing up birthday cakes and brides?
But we've been waiting for Dad all day. Can't we eat the cake yet?
No, not until your father gets back.
But he wasn't even supposed to go to work today.
In order to help out around the house, my father took the day off work. However, he was suddenly called into work, apparently for something only he could sort out. I get that he has to work, but he's been gone all day. So much for a day off.
This is boring. I hope Dad gets home soon, Mom. I want to eat my cake already.
Don't worry, Heidi. I passed your message on to your father when he called 10 minutes ago. I'm sure he's rushing to get down here as fast as he can.
He'd better be, otherwise I'll be really mad.
Haha, then I'm sure he'll hurry, Heidi. He knows better than to make you mad.
So, have some faith in your father. He's doing his best, okay?
Humph. I pouted, folding my arms across my chest.
Since he isn't back right now, he's not trying hard enough.
Are you mad at him, Heidi?
Yeah, I'm mad. I'm really mad. This is supposed to be my birthday, and he's ruining it.
Oh,
in that case, what would it take for you to forgive your father for his gross misconduct? Well, I'm not sure.
I frowned, folding my arms across my chest.
I just want him to go as fast as he can, no matter what's in his way. Since I'm his son, he should do that for me, right?
Yes, I'm sure he's trying his hardest, Heidi.
We just need to believe.
Another 2 hours went by, and still we heard nothing from Dad. There was no car pulling in the driveway, no familiar knock on the front door, no cheerful happy birthday Heidi, not even a phone call. Mom tried to remain optimistic, but I could tell that her smile was faltering. She started to wring her hands together, glancing up at the clock every 5 minutes or so. Where could he be? It isn't like him to stay away from home for so long without calling. Even without me saying anything, Shinatsu noticed my distress. She reached forward and took my hand, threading her pale fingers between mine. That's cute. Look at her. That's so awesome. Look at that face.
I'm sure it'll be alright, Hideaki. Maybe there was a traffic jam? Yeah, that's probably it, a traffic jam. I repeated her words under my breath, albeit without any conviction. My words trailed off into thin air, lost in the living room, which seemed to be growing colder by the minute. I was indignant about this at first, but now I can't bring myself to feel angry. Maybe it's because of the frightened look on Mom's face. I'm not mad at Dad anymore. Instead, I'm anxious. Mom's right. He would have called if anything came up. Why hasn't he phoned us? Just what is going on? At that moment, I heard the sound of knocking on the door. Most people in my situation would feel relief upon hearing that sound, but knowing my dad, the sound brought nothing of the sort. After all, Dad wouldn't bother knocking at all. He'd just barge right in, wearing a silly smile on his face, apologizing for his absence. So it was at that moment that I finally realized something was horribly wrong. Yeah, that's not a good sign when there's a knock on the door like this. Oh boy, here we go, people. I'll get it.
Although she tried to act natural as she approached the door, Mom's voice told me that she was every bit as scared as I was. We both instinctively knew that something horrible was about to happen, and when my mother opened the door, our fears were confirmed. "Excuse me, are you Miss Nato?" Standing in our doorway was a solitary police officer. Oh no. He wore a neutral expression on his face, as though he didn't want to either relieve or worry us. And he failed miserably. My mother stands before him nervously, rubbing her arm, while my heart pounds so hard that I think I'm going to vomit.
Yes, that's right. I'm Miss Nato.
I'm afraid I have some bad news, ma'am.
Is this about my husband?
That's right. Your husband, Although he maintained a stern expression until this point, the police officer now looked incredibly anxious. His eyes darted here and there, resting everywhere but on my mother's face. "I'm sorry, Miss Nato, but there was an accident. Your husband's car was tail-end by a speeding truck. He was pronounced dead on the scene." Wow, what tragic news. And the thing is, I know this is a virtual novel, people, but I mean, people, mothers of kids and families and, kids of their loving fathers and mothers and everything like that, this happens in real life all the time. Drunk drivers kill people. People have accidents. People die. People die suddenly and shock everyone that loves and cares about them. It happens, it seems like all too often, and this is really sad. So the cops there telling his mother that his father was pronounced dead on the scene, and Hideaki heard that. This is tough. Mom says,
Dad, my husband is dead.
The officer continued talking, spluttering as he spoke. He spoke many platitudes, telling us how quick my father's death must have been and how he didn't suffer. But once again, his goodwill had the opposite effect. How could the officer know that it didn't hurt? He wasn't the one who was hit by a truck. My dad was. My dad, the man who helped me learn how to ride a bike and cheered for me at athletics events, and went hunting for cicadas with me in the forest on weekends. He can't be. He can't be. I saw him only this morning. He said, "Happy birthday, Heidi," and he kissed the top of my forehead. And then he promised me he'd be back from work in time for dinner. He promised. And my dad, he's a good father. He never breaks his promises. Although I continue telling myself that my father couldn't possibly be dead, I already knew the truth. No matter how good a father he was, Dad was only mortal. Getting hit by a truck, he didn't have a chance. Faced with that harsh truth, I began to question why. Why did he have to die? Why was it so sudden? This feels like a scene from a movie or some kind of bad joke. I half expected the police officer to yell, "Just kidding," and to have a camera crew emerge from behind his back. Wishful thinking, huh? This could be like one of those TV shows dedicated to pranking celebrities. Please? Please let it be that? But it isn't. This is reality. My dad is really dead. He's nothing more than a lump of meat inside a crushed car, a splash of blood on the side of the road. That's all that's left of him. Not even his goofy smile will remain. Dad, gone. It's all gone. If only I hadn't told him to come home faster. If only I hadn't been so impatient. Mom was right. My cake wasn't going to go anywhere, but Dad. My cake's here, but my dad's gone. Now Dad is never going to come back, and it's all my fault. Hideaki? Shinatsu looked at me with concern in her eyes and reached for my hand. But I didn't want her sympathy. I batted her hand away as my whole body shook. I could feel something rising up from within my stomach, snaking its way through my body, up to the back of my throat. And what came out of my mouth was a scream, a loud, desperate howl, like that of a wild animal. And once I started, I couldn't stop. I continued to scream. My throat tore, my eyes watered, and I could no longer hold anything back. Hideaki! Mom says, Heidi! Mom turned away from the police officer and rushed towards me. Mom turned away from the police officer and rushed towards me, her eyes wide open with concern. She bent down, attempting to hug me, but I threw her off me. Witnessing my mother's failure, Shinatsu tried to approach me again. I felt a light pressure against my back. Her arms encircled me, her head resting against my back. I shuddered, attempting to draw breath, but it's hard. Everything hurts. My vocal cords feel as though they've been cut in two with a pair of scissors, and my knees are trembling. Hideaki, please calm down. Don't cry. So she says, but from her wavering voice, even without looking at her, I can tell that she's crying too. Aww. Shinatsu got along well with my dad. Even if they didn't know each other well, his death took its toll on her. No, that's not it. She doesn't care that he's dead. Neither does that damn policeman. They just want me to shut up and be quiet. My pain is an inconvenience to them. Oh, wow. Poor Heidi. He is beating the heck out of himself, isn't he? And I don't know if you guys can hear my voice cracking or whatever, but this has got my eyes teary. This is freaking sad. I wasn't expecting this. I don't know what I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting this. Wow. So now poor Shinatsu feels for her best friend. She sees what pain he's going through, and she tries to put her arms around him. And he's just beating himself up. Poor kid. He's like, they want me to shut up and be quiet. Come on, that's not it at all, buddy. Damn. What they feel inside isn't sadness, it's pity. He thinks they pity him. Damn. And I want none of it. Before I knew what was happening, I was running. I had shaken Shinatsu off me, bolted through the front door, and ran without hesitation. Oh no. And when I finally came to a halt and gathered my bearings, I realized where I was. My legs carried me here subconsciously, even though I didn't have a particular escape route in mind. I ran to the bridge upon which I first met Shinatsu. It's the river, the same river where I met Shinatsu. Why did I come here? Is it because of all the good memories I have of this place, playing with Shinatsu? Did I think that everything could be reset if I just ran from reality? It's understandable that I'd want to run away to return to my old life, but it isn't possible. What's done is done, and it can't be taken back. I can't go back in time. I can't change the past. I can't do anything. All I can do is cry. Ah. No, that isn't strictly true. There is something I can do. Something I have to do. My impulsive words caused my father's death. If I hadn't told him to hurry, he would have kept a closer eye on the road, and maybe he wouldn't have been hit by that truck. It's all because of me, and it's all my fault. So in that case, I deserve to be punished. Oh no, Heidi. No, Hideaki, no way. No. When people commit murder, they're usually given the death penalty. That's fair, that's justice. It's how the legal system works. And that's what I should do right now. I stared at the rushing water in the river below. It looked dirtier than it did when I last saw Shinatsu swimming in there. The water was dark and steely, a murky green. It was something I didn't want to touch, let alone submerge myself in. Nonetheless, I take a few tentative steps towards, staring at my distorted reflection within the water. Can I really do this? Should I? I know that I didn't really kill my father, that it wasn't my fault. It was the driver of that truck. I couldn't have done anything to stop it from happening, but I don't want to accept that. If I accept that it had nothing to do with me, that would be the same as accepting that Dad's death was unpreventable, that it was meaningless. I continue to stand there, staring at the water, immersed in my own thoughts. Mom says, Heidi! Hideaki-kun! Two voices rang out from behind me, and as I turned around, I found Mom and Shinatsu running towards me down that dirt path along the riverbank. They really do look worried about me. Mom's face is pale, as though she's seen a ghost, and Shinatsu's wearing an expression of pity. I straightened my back and took a step towards them, away from the river. But as I did, "What?" As I tried to move, I felt my foot catch on something. Be it a rock, a root, or something else entirely, it responded to my death wish and sent me tumbling backwards. I tried to balance myself, terrified by the falling sensation, but without anything to hold on to, I could only fall. Splash! Heidi! Submerged, cold, and bereft of oxygen, I entered the river. Sinking down to the depths, unable to fight the current, I drifted helplessly, endlessly, as my body was taken down. So, this is it, huh? This is what I had wished for. Peace and quiet away from everyone, a punishment I can accept. And the further I sank, the less inclined I felt to try and swim to the surface. My thoughts clouded over with a sense of relief. I had no desire to continue fighting. I just wanted to submit and to let it all end. Damn, that's sad. Why did I hesitate? I should have done this from the start. This is the only way I can atone for what I did, and the only way I can ever live it down, so to speak. I just hope that Shinatsu and Mom are okay. It'll be tough on Mom losing her entire family in one day, but damn, she'll be better off without me. Oh my god, Heidi, damn, dude. Poor kid. You're awake. Shinatsu? Shh, it's alright. Don't move. I'm here. I blinked as the sun burned my eyes. The entire world was white, as though I had been submerged in darkness until just one moment ago. I'm sorry, Hideaki-kun. I really am sorry. The figure in front of me sobbed, begging for forgiveness. I could barely make out the image before me, but even without my eyes adjusting, I knew who it was. Shinatsu. I reached out toward Shinatsu's face, wanting nothing more than to stop her from crying. But I have no idea why she's crying, or what I could do to make her stop. All I know is that the inside of my mouth tastes stale and dirty, as though I'd been drinking dirty water. Oh no, I swallowed freaking the dirty water from the river. I'm seeing Shinatsu in my mind. Wow, crying. I tried to lift my arm to my face and I coughed up water, but I soon realized that I couldn't. My body had no strength left. I'm sorry, Hideaki-kun. I really am. I'm sorry you had to suffer so much. Why is Shinatsu crying? Why is she apologizing? Did she do something to me? Did she push me in the river or something? Did I nearly drown? It would be better if you forgot about me, Hideaki-kun. Just forget about everything. That way, you won't need to be sad anymore. As Shinatsu spoke, I felt the last of my strength leave my body. My eyes slowly closed and I lost all consciousness. Damn! Wow. As my mother's story finally ended, I could only stare at her blankly from across the kitchen table, as if I had just awoken from a horrible nightmare. I had actually stopped listening to her a while ago, overcome as my own memories filled in the blanks. Because now, prompted by my mother's story, at long last, I remember. Wow. Wow. Damn. Alright guys, with that, we are about an hour, I believe, into this game. I don't know exactly what's going to happen or how this is going to get resolved. I have a feeling the game is close to being end. But this was very emotional, even for me. I wasn't expecting that. And it was just really his memories of what happened. So some part of me tells me that this is going to end even sadder. So we're going to get back with this in part number 9. And we're going to wrap it up. I don't know how much longer is left, whether it's an hour or an hour and a half or a half hour. I don't know what's left, but we're going to finish this up in part 9. And I hope you guys tune in for that. Make sure you subscribe to me if you're not already subscribed. I hope you guys are enjoying this, and you'll have to let me know in the comments below. If you've been listening to this whole thing for certain, let me know if you were able to keep dry eyes during this part as I read it. Please let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. It really helps me know that you guys appreciate the content that I'm bringing you here on my channel. And I hope you guys are enjoying this playthrough of No One But You as much as I am. This has been a great one, especially this episode here. When a game, a movie, a story, whatever it is, when it can make you laugh, and this one has made me laugh several times, and when a game can wet your eyes, then it's doing its job. It's a good one. So hopefully you guys agree. Let me know in the comments below, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you in part 9 to wrap this whole story up. See you then, everybody. Thanks for watching. This has been Zaxter99. Take care.